Well, hello everyone and welcome back to the Wedding School. I'm so excited today. I have Annie from Lady Love Industries. Now you're a well-known celebrant in the Brisbane, Gold Coast and Byron Bay regions, and we were talking the other day about vow writing. So I know so many of our couples struggle with this, particularly the males, and you know, you were talking about that you ran a workshop during COVID about how to write non-cheesy, personalised, beautiful vows, which I think is so important because the ceremony really sets up the day.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd get you on for you to share a few little tips with us, if you don't mind.
Sure, I'd love to. I think the most important thing when you're writing vows is to achieve authenticity. And for them to feel genuine and real. So when I'm talking to my couples about vow writing, the first piece of advice I always give them is to stay away from Google.
Yes, I agree, totally. That's the one advice I do give. Do not Google a speech or your vows, yes.
They ask me, will people be able to tell if I've Googled my vows? And I always say yes. Yes, because you don't normally speak in Old English. So when you use words like vow and things like, we know you've Googled them. They're not your words. So I think always use your own words. Even if you're not a very good writer, it doesn't matter because your vows should sound like you. They should sound the way that you speak. Should use all of your vocabulary, your slang, whatever. It will feel more real, more genuine and honest, and more meaningful, even if it's simple. If it's come straight from you. So that's my first piece of advice when trying to nail your vows. Zero Googling. The second thing that I always advise my couples to do is to have a chat to each other about where they want to pitch their vows in terms of sentimentality and length. Because you don't want them to feel too unevenly weighted. You want to achieve a nice balance between the two of them in terms of length. So you know, you don't want one party writing a page of heartfelt and sincere promises and then the other one writing a paragraph of light-hearted funny stuff because it feels super awkward. You know, and it's like, like they've really outdone you there. You know? So I always say, have a chat. Even if you do a rough word count, you know, I've written mine and they're 300 words long. Try to make yours around about the same, give or take. And then also talk about sentimentality. Do you want them to be really heartfelt, deep and meaningful, or do you want them to be light-hearted, you know, a little bit funny?
I like that,
So talk to each other about what your vows mean to you and how much you want to invest in them. And then whatever you are feeling unable or incapable of doing or unwilling to do, pile the rest of it onto your celebrant. Get your celebrant to include. I always say that when you've got a celebrant who writes personalised ceremonies,
like you do.
So it takes a lot of pressure off the vow writing process because a lot of the things you want to say to each other will be filtered through the details of the ceremony and your story. So a lot of the things you think and feel about each other will come through those little quirks and idiosyncrasies that get mentioned within your story. So get a good celebrant as well.
And so do you, if you're reading these vows and you're thinking, oh, they are uneven, one's going for 2 hours, one's going for 10 minutes, one's really like funny and sarcastic and the other one's very serious, would you have some nice, you know, some kind words and try to get them to sort of be on the same page, I guess?
I think having a moderator is really important and also an impartial moderator. So somebody who isn't, you know, a family member or a friend because, you know, they're going to have biased opinions. And they probably will be a little bit too opinionated with what you should be thinking and saying as well. So it's really good to give it to somebody like your celebrant or anybody else other than someone who's connected to you and just get them to go through it, check that one doesn't need dimming down, one doesn't need beefing up. And I try not to give too much prescriptive guidance. I will just say things like, oh, you've told me here that he gives you a feeling of safety. Can you tell me what he does on a day-to-day basis that gives you that feeling? You know, and she'll be like, oh, he always meets me out at my car if I get home from work late at night. I'm like, That's so
That's
nice.
beautiful.
Say that, you know, say that.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. Giving examples
Yes.
of how that person makes you feel is the perfect way to approach your vows. If you can sort of focus on the smaller details that make up the bigger parts of your lives together, you're on the right track.
Yeah.
Try to avoid generalizations. Try to avoid saying using words like great.
Yeah.
You know, I love everything about him. He makes me feel great.
Yeah.
You know, try to hone in on
Why?
the why.
Yeah.
I always think like words like love and great and happy.
Amazing.
They're like big umbrella.
Yeah.
They're big umbrella terms, and there's so many thoughts and feelings that exist underneath those umbrellas. And
Absolutely.
try to hone in on those, and that's you'll be off to a great start. The other thing that I love doing with my couples, if they feel completely lost and they want a framework, is that I'll create sentence starters with them. So we'll say, well, how long do you want your vows to be? Okay, let's create 7 sentence starters together, and then you can go away and complete them individually. So your sentence starters might be something like, I'm standing here today because my favourite memory with you is because of you I am, because of you I feel. So the sentence starters give them a framework, that give them a clear direction. They know they're on the same page. They know they're not worrying about whether one person is using a promise format and the other one's using a story format. You know, I think formatting is always helpful. Everybody loves a template.
Yes.
All the guesswork out. You know?
I actually love that. I've never heard of that. So thank you so much. And I know you've got more sort of tips on your blog, don't you?
I do. I've got a blog that I've written on vows and vow writing, but even better than that, I've got a workshop which I've created. And that's open to everybody, whether you're my couple or not. If you want access to that little workshop that I've created, I've got a slideshow, and I've even got an accompanying video that you can just hit me up for. Send me an email, Annie@celebrantladylove.com, and I'm happy to share it with you.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. I've learned a lot, which I'll be passing on to my couples. I look forward to actually seeing you at actual weddings.
Let's bring weddings back. Let's make weddings great again.
Thank you so much.